Yes, okay. Good Monday afternoon, everybody. It is lead meteorologist Sean here for our daily 12 p.m. hail forecast sponsored by the C3 Group. But before we get into our forecast, we actually have a storm going on right now, and of all places, in Salt Lake City, Utah. So I'm going to kind of jump into that. I'm going to actually do some live coverage because why not? We got a storm going on, so let's jump right into it, guys. Here we go. All right, so yeah, Salt Lake City, of all places, we had a storm going on, and it's pretty early. I mean, it's only 11 o'clock in the morning over there, but get the radar going here. You see the storm? A pretty good-looking supercell, and it is now, of course, now, in the time it took before for the past half hour or so, storm got its act together, dropped some quarter-size hail in the town of Sandy, Utah, and you can see the correlation coefficient, the CCs, you know what we usually use, seems to not be working too great because it's showing no hail going on. But if you just look at the good old reflectivity, nice pink core, go over a couple more frames between Sandy and what is this, Cottonwood Heights. Looks like quite the hail dump going on here, and it reports a quarter to $half size hail, a handful of quarter reports, quarter to $half size hail. And just like that, we have a 2-star map across the Salt Lake City area. Storm is now moving into the, I can't remember the name of the mountain range, just to the east of Salt Lake City, but into those mountains and moving out of the area. But again, hey, that's a 2-star map to start our day before we even get to that forecast. And hopefully it's a good sign for what's to come later today, for the main reason why most of you guys are watching about the Denver area. So I'm going to go back to our regular programming here and get into the forecast for today. Make sure those push notifications are set up, especially if you're a Nation subscriber. You got that notification saying that we're mapping in the Salt Lake City metro. And so you go to notification options on your Hail Trace account on your desktop computer. You can go ahead and hit the Rockies. Yes, I know it's the Rocky Mountains. I just didn't know the specific portion of the range. But anyway, we have 3 different ways you can do your push notifications, whether it's on your cell phone, on your desktop computer, or through your email. Set that up, and then set it up to your various what you need for your business needs for either it's a city, whole state, or the entire country. Got that set up so you don't miss any of our push notifications. All right, going ahead to the forecast for today. So beyond what's just happening right now, and notice Salt Lake City continues that trend of not in the forecast hailstorm that we seem to be getting almost every single day now. But it looks like we have a pretty decent chance for some hail across the Colorado Front Range, or as they call it in the weather world, the Denver Cyclone. Looks like more of a classic looking setup for the Denver area to see some hailstorms today. Storms are going to form after about 3 o'clock local time and then roll off the mountains and move off to the north and east. Up to 2-inch hail is possible. Again, as usual, the biggest question is where exactly are those storms going to form? Is it going to be just south of Denver and move through that Castle Rock, Aurora area? Or is it going to go right over Denver, going to go to the north up by Fort Collins? Somewhere along that area, I got a 15% chance of that happening for the city itself. And then up to 2-inch hail is possible, assuming these storms can get going. And again, it looks like today is one of those days a little bit better of a setup for the Denver area than some previous days we've had the past month or so. So a little more hopeful for this. But then again, we could get a really big storm in some unexpected city later on. That seems to be how this month has been rolling. And we have another chance, another area for some hail. Some storms are going to form after about 4 o'clock this afternoon across northeastern sections of Nebraska and generally move to the east. So I have a 10% chance for Sioux City, Nebraska / Iowa. I can't remember which side of the river it's on. But 10% chance for there, 5% for Omaha. I think the storms are going to be too far to your north to see any big activity. But again, there's that chance that the storm could meander a little further south. 2% chance even further east in Des Moines, where I think by the time the storms get to Des Moines, that hail production is going to be pretty low. So that's what we're looking at for today. We also have, going into my local hail forecast, which we've changed up a little bit since the last time we've seen it. Not a huge change, but instead of the wind-driven hail, I've now replaced it with a chance of a 3-star map or better. You guys tend to want to know where, like how good of a storm it possibly can be. We can say max hail size and all that other garbage all we want, but if it hits nothing, it doesn't mean anything to you guys. So that's why we're saying 3-star map or better That's typically the threshold that you guys like to work from. So between 3 and 8 p.m. I think some hail will happen. Again, as usual with Denver, the storm's pretty much right off the bat. It's going to happen, and there's a chance we could get some redevelopment, which is why I go all the way till 8 p.m. Up to 2-inch hail maximum unless we get something really crazy. But for those of you who might be new to working the Denver area, the storm that happened last year with baseballs is more the exception than the norm. 2-inch hail is more the norm for a Denver storm. So sticking with that, 15% chance, yeah, it's kind of low, but I mean, it's also how this year seems to be rolling. And 3-star map, I'm giving about a 25% chance. So just with today, if Denver gets hit, it likely will end up being a 3-star map. The biggest question is, can the storms actually hit Denver itself? And again, this is my first time doing this one, so expect this to have some fluctuations and everything once we kind of work with it a little bit more and can kind of really pinpoint, okay, this is how the percentage thing should work. But let me know if you guys like this, if you like giving us that chance of a 3-star map or better. Try to make it a little more specific for you guys, make the whole forecast clearer for everybody to understand. So anyway, here's our forecast for tomorrow. If Denver doesn't hit today, there's another chance tomorrow for the Front Range, all the way from Colorado Springs up through the border. Could have some up to tennis ball size hail possible. That's going to be more to the east, and where storms are going to form in Nebraska and Kansas. Denver area, probably rinse and repeat, up to 2-inch hail possible. And there's a chance for some storms all the way through to the Illinois area going into your day tomorrow. Looks like we could see a handful of storms form. A little further to the east into Indiana, everything I think would be more of a wind threat. So I've cut that hail threat all the way down to just to the west of Chicago, where I think some storms could have some quarter to ping pong ball size hail across southern Iowa, northern Missouri, and Illinois. And then after that, west of that, the supercells look a little more intense, so they have that chance for hail up to tennis ball size. That's preliminary forecast. As usual, we'll get more details for that going into your morning tomorrow, where hopefully we can pinpoint a little bit better where we think storms are going to be. Going to just quickly now, I'm going to check back in on this storm here across Salt Lake City, where it is now moved into the mountains. And look at that, yeah, we got a $50 report that came in across South Jordan town. Again, we very rarely do storms in Salt Lake City, so I don't know the area at all. But anyway, jump back into the models, kind of jumping all over the place. Just look at the most recent model run here to show you guys what we're looking at for today. As usual, the HRRR show storms try to form. We got this consistently showing this one little guy just to south and east of Denver, and then other storms forming as the evening wears on. And if I move just out of the way, you can see also here into Iowa and Nebraska. We'll have to keep a close eye on this. There could be some pretty angry storms in here, and if it keeps trending it's a little further south than what I'd seen the last couple of runs. This actually gets a lot closer to Omaha. So again, we'll obviously be watching that very carefully as the remainder of the day wears on. Where, of course, if any large storms do occur, let's see, can I get, no, only 2 hours, dang. If any large storms do occur, as usual, we will do live continuing coverage, assuming it's not at 3:30 in the morning. We will do live continuing coverage here if a storm goes through Denver, Omaha, Des Moines, or any other surprise event we may get. Wasatch Range, thank you, that's what it is. All right, so gonna wrap things up here, guys. We'll be back, hopefully, do those hail dances, and we can be back later on this afternoon to do some coverage in the Denver area, or maybe Omaha, maybe Des Moines, maybe some other surprise city. What's the surprise storm you want to see today? Put in the comment section below. Hopefully, maybe that'll make it come true. And follow us on Facebook, if I can get my graphic up in time for my speaking here. Follow us on Facebook, especially if we do live coverage and you missed that push notification. If you're in the Denver area and suddenly hail's falling, you might be getting a lot of notifications all at once, might miss our notification. If you go on Facebook and you hit see first when you follow our page, it'll pop up right at the top of your newsfeed so you don't miss any of that live coverage or posts about our maps when they're online for purchase. And any other comments, questions, or concerns you may have, or inquiries about what HailTrace has to offer as a product and not just a little video series here, give us a call, email us, or go on hailtrace.com and message us on intercom, lower right hand corner of your screen, blue circle with the speech bubble on it. Click on that, and that will send out send out a message to everyone on staff so we can answer any of your questions at most hours of the day. Obviously, we do have to sleep occasionally. So, hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. We'll see you again tomorrow at 12 p.m. if we don't do any live coverage or do those hail dances. Maybe we do some live coverage later on, again, this afternoon and evening for any big storms that happen. Meteorologist John Schreckett for Hail Trace. Hope you have a great rest of your Monday, everyone. Whoops.